Hey everyone, I hope you all are doing amazing today, and I welcome you to the show. It's a bit new here because I'm recording the podcast on audio as well as doing my first video. So I'm going to be uploading these podcasts to YouTube as well. And if I know some people like watching video or use that platform a lot as well, so I'm kind of experimenting into the world of YouTube. So it's something new and exciting for me. But other than that, in my life, this past weekend we went to Canmore, the little mountain town, and we went skiing, which was amazing because we haven't been too active during COVID this year, and it was just really great to get out. And we also checked out a place and met with a realtor for potentially getting into the real estate market there, into maybe purchasing an Airbnb. The market is pretty ridiculously priced, and it's just a very hot market. So we definitely have some research to do before jumping into that one. But anyways, dialing back into the show, we are still in our mini-series of men in a relationship. And today's episode in particular is called Balancing Masculine and Feminine Energy. And this one had a very, very profound impact on my life once I learned these concepts and once I discovered what was truly going on within me. And so I want to share my experiences with it and dive a little bit deep on the concept of masculine and feminine energy. So in life we have opposites. There's night and day, happy and sad, hot and cold, inhale and exhale. And one cannot exist without the other. Although it's important to find the balance between the extremes, or else there will be instability or boredom. And if there's always good things in life, if you're always lying on a beach every day, that's going to get bored. And we don't know good if we don't experience bad. Without the extremes, we don't know what the other thing is. Otherwise, it just always is that. It's just stagnantly being good. But we wouldn't know if it was good without the bad days. And the same goes for masculine and feminine energy. So I'll list out a couple key points in kind of describing each category. So masculine energy incorporates leadership, action, reason, logic, adventure, strength, loyalty, firmness, survival, confidence, focus, pride, honor, efficiency, and power. And for the feminine energy, empathy, nurture, fluidity, going with the flow, softness, receptive, openness, devotion, creative, compassion, community, feelings, support, intuition, and understanding. And a couple key points. So the masculine energy tends to be where there's aggressiveness in pursuing what you want. Decide when, where, how a project will grow and go. Focus on the end results. Set boundaries around emotions to accomplish goals. So do it at all costs. Don't show emotion. Push everything aside and just get it done. Relate through camaraderie, entertainment, and problem solving. So for my example, when we'd hang out with the boys, we'd have a beer or watch a hockey game, or that's how we would socialize, and that's how we would communicate with one another. And this isn't saying it's bad or good. I'm just laying out what might be going on here and what masculine energy is in comparison to feminine energy. And feminine energy utilizes attraction rather than force, patient and able to hold space for projects to unfold instead of just that plowing through. Enjoy creation without being fixated on the end results, and connect with yourself for change and development, not exterior sources. So that internal journey, doing things to feel good on the inside instead of just the external world. And relate to others by listening, sharing, and nurturing. So you can see how there's there's a lot of opposites in these. And this is not to say that one energy is better than the other. That is not what I'm saying at all. And all I'm trying to get across here is that typically for men, we like to stay in that masculine energy. And I really was buried in this masculine energy, especially at the start of the relationship that I got into with Jess. And it had some catastrophic results because of that. And, at the start of the relationship, I was very much in that masculine energy. And Jess was the polar opposite. And she was very settled within that feminine energy. So there was a lot of conflict that arose because of this. And in my opinion, balancing these energies will lead to a healthier, emotionally, spiritually, and harmonious life. So Western society has put clear labels on how you should live if you are a man or if you're a woman. They don't often talk about finding your unique balance of the two energies to suit whatever life circumstance or whatever relationship you're in. They just say, on advertising, on everything, it's just a clear cut. This is what a man is and this is what a woman is. But, they're missing the whole piece, that there's so much complexities within our psyche, and especially when we come together in a relationship, that you can't just be the man be masculine and the woman be feminine. Like, there is going to be consequences because of this. And imbalance of this will be apparent. If you are valuing and only focusing on one type of energy, and that goes against some of your innate desires and personality traits, you will experience turbulence. And I'm mainly, again, referencing staying in the masculine energy because that's what I experienced, the man being stuck in that masculine energy. And I'm sure it's the same for women being stuck in their feminine energy and not tapping into what might be innately linked. They might have some innate masculine energies within themselves, but they might just only show that feminine energy because they think that's what they're supposed to do. So it does go both ways, but I'm directly focusing at the masculine energy within males. So there's something called the wounded energy that will appear if we bury, such as I did. I buried all my feminine energy. I didn't want the world to see that because I thought that was wrong. I thought that's not what you show. If you're a man, you show masculine energy. But that led me to developing some wounded energy. And wounded energy is when we don't balance these energies, and then we might overcompensate to, for me, if I was showing a sensitive side, I would overcompensate to something more masculine. But that overcompensation comes with a wounded energy. So some key points of wounded energy that come up for the feminine side is, if you're overcompensating and only showing your feminine, that might lead to experiencing more of that victim state, that victim mentality. You might feel powerless, weakness, manipulation, withholding, neediness, codependency, oversensitive, over-emotional, and over-reactional. And for the masculine, the wounded energy might show up as the perpetuating thoughts and negative things, abuse of power, dominance, aggression, control, competitive, confrontational, criticism, abuse, avoidance, instability, and being unsupportive. And for my story, because of society and the societal culture that I grew up in, and only showing that masculine, my wounded energies and my overcompensation appeared under the forms of the perpetuator, the aggression, the control, the competitive. I need to win arguments. I need to be right. And avoidance of my feelings, avoidance of going there and experiencing, to fully feel and to fully articulate and express and communicate properly with my partner. These are all the things. This was the wounded energy that I experienced because I was pushing down all of my feminine energy. And when that happens, we experience wounded masculine energy and that overcompensation. And it was extremely detrimental to my relationship. And I really had to work on this. So what I'm doing here is just hopefully bringing some awareness to what might be going on in your life and your relationship based on what I experienced and based on tying in both of these energies together. So qualities only allowing myself to tap into my masculine energy, that led me to developing these wounded energies. And because of this, I had to redefine what it meant to be a man. For myself, for my unique life, for my unique relationship, because it's going to be different for absolutely everybody out there. There's not just one status quo, this is how it is, live like this and you'll be fine. It just doesn't exist like that. And it wasn't too far into my relationship when I realized my previous interpretation of what it meant to be a man was going to get challenged. And looking back now, I know that getting challenged can be something amazing, turn into something beautiful if we frame it that way. But where I was at that point in my life, it was very difficult to frame it that way. I wasn't equipped with what I'm equipped with now. I didn't have this knowledge. I didn't have any tools. All I had was the fear of, holy shit, everything I know is getting challenged. Well, I just spent my whole life preparing myself to be this alpha male to get shit done with strictly only masculine qualities. And now this is getting challenged? Like, what the hell? Like, I spent my whole life doing this and you're telling me this ain't gonna work? You know, that was difficult to face. And I really was, what I was doing was my whole life I was developing this unconscious mindset. I developed a mindset that would ensure my success to become this alpha male. And this is why I believe that mindset and intentionally developing a mindset can be so useful and powerful and effective in helping us become the person we desire to be. So unfortunately for me, I was using this tool of utilizing my mindset to be this male, and I built it to be this very rigid, get shit done, very focused, rituals, routine, and it worked. It really worked because I was unconsciously just building this based on my belief system of what it meant to be a man. And I was a machine. I was just an absolute machine. I never missed a workout. I was so dedicated. I had boom, 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 forcing my way, utilizing that masculine energy, focusing on the end goal, and it was working. But when it came to mix these energies with the opposites, the feminine and masculine with my new relationship, whoa, that caused some instability. And this isn't to say that having opposite energies isn't useful. And I believe that's where amazing chemistry of that opposition of feminine and masculine can come together in this beautiful collaboration to generate chemistry and attraction. I think in an intimate relationship, you do want those opposites at times when it's useful to utilize them. But if you're going in your everyday life and both partners are stuck in masculine and feminine, and you're just plowing through and no one's giving in, then those wounded energies, the wounded feminine energy and the wounded masculine energy are going to come together, and it's really going to cause some conflict, as it did in my life. So if we are intentional with creating mindset and having the knowledge of what, where we sit with these energies, it can be extremely useful to consciously develop our mindset with who we want to become. So again, my previous definition of a man was get shit done. Men are providers, the main provider for the family, because that's what I experienced as a child. So again, our psyche is going to be interwound within how we view what a man or what a woman should be. And I think it's important to look back at our childhood and look back at our past experiences, our past relationships, to really understand how we how we came to where we are right now, because all of that's going to have an impact. That doesn't mean it needs to have an impact moving forward, but it is going to have had an impact on who you are right now. But we have the power, we have the ability to change who we are now moving forward, and that doesn't need to have an impact on us moving forward or on you in your current relationship now. And again, my previous definition, I needed to win and be the best in order to be content. And this led to many arguments of where I needed to win. I needed to be heard. My way was right because I was getting challenged. Everything I built my whole life was now getting challenged. What do you mean this isn't going to work? What do you mean I can't be this alpha dog? And I was getting all my beliefs, the paradigms, everything I had built to make this machine is now getting challenged. And I was like, are you kidding me? With my whole life doing this and now it's not going to work? And again, men don't show or express emotions. This is what I believed. And they especially don't cry. And men don't ask for help. So you can see how limited, how constricted these beliefs and paradigms held me. And you can see how it clearly wasn't going to work with my partner who lives with a lot of that complete opposite energy. We had to go on a complete journey on how to learn to mix and entangle and weave our energies together with the common goals and common vision of where we wanted to head in life. And that is not a simple or easy task. And it was a deep journey that we had to embark in because we lived in such oppositions. She was completely in the feminine and I was completely in the masculine. And there was a lot of overcompensating going on. There was a lot of wounded energies and a lot of triggers. And when we would get triggered so easily because we were so just focused on this is all I know. This is what I know. What do you mean this isn't going to work? And when she would trigger or push those sensitive areas which were within me. I have a lot of those feminine qualities within me, but my ego had built up all these walls to protect them. So when she would challenge me to be communicative, to open up, to express myself emotionally, to go to deeper levels, that to me was a challenge. That to me was my ego needed to put on its walls even more. We need to completely shield ourselves, and then I would overcompensate, and then that wounded energy would manifest. And it was a struggle for some time. And this is not to say again that we have it all figured out. We continually work on this, and in fact we continually work on it even more because we're changing and evolving at such an exponential rate. We're both working on ourselves, personal development, and going for goals, achieving. There's so many complexities involved in that. We're changing at such a quick rate as individuals and as a couple that we need to continually work on this and to navigate through it, because our energies, both feminine and masculine, get affected, and we're changing them, and we're working, and we're doing trial and errors. That's the only way of doing it. There's no one right answer for everyone. I can't just sit here and say this is exactly what you need to do, because you have your own psyche, you have your own past, you have everything in your life has shaped you to this point now. That's not the same as me, and that's not the same as your partner. So we need to be able to just go deeper with our partners. And for me anyways, to go deeper, I really had to tap into those feminine qualities, because to go to those deeper levels of understanding and being able to listen and being able to be empathetic and understand where she's coming from without getting triggered, I really needed to tap into that feminine energy to go there. And what I discovered was, oh shit, there's actually a lot of innate feminine energy qualities within me that I've just buried. I completely ignored these for so long, and when I actually tap into them, oh my God, that feels amazing, that feels good, this feels natural, and maybe I should start to mix these into my life a little bit more. And once I was able to drop those walls of my ego that I had built up my whole life, it was difficult because our ego will hold on to those barriers. Our ego built this person, built this machine of who we think we're supposed to be. But in reality, that actually is taking us away from who we actually are. So, in order to receive balance, harmony, and respect in my relationship, I needed to redefine what it meant to be a man. And this can be done at any stage in life. That's the beauty of it. We're not locked in, and we shouldn't use excuses of, I've lived 60 years of my life, so this is who I am. I've gone too far. Well, no, you haven't gone too far. If you're still living, if you're still in the physical plane, in the physical realm, it's not too late. And that's the worst excuse you can ever have. So this can be done at any stage and at any age in life. And this will help shape your new identity of what a man or woman in your unique life is. But we need to be able to come up with that new definition, to have the clarity on how the clarity on how you want to show up. And this is a necessary step to reprogram your old subconscious and beliefs of what a man or what a woman is. But without that clarity, without that clear definition, we're just tossing it up to hope that this all works out. And, if I had just said, don't worry, I'll change, or I'll work on it, the easy pass of the moment to get out of an argument, or I'll work on it, I'll change, don't worry. But without being clear on who and what I was trying to become, that wouldn't have led to any of the success we've had in our relationship and the leaps and boundaries and the progress that we've made. If my plan, which by the way, my plan was, don't worry, Jess, I'll change. At the start, this was my plan. My plan was, I'll change. I know I will because I love you. And that was literally my plan, but that plan had no clarity. That plan was so vague. What a shitty plan looking back. But at the moment, that's all I was equipped with. I didn't know what self-awareness was. I didn't know what masculine and feminine energy. I didn't know I had these dormant feminine qualities within me. I didn't know any of this. So my only plan was, don't worry, I'll change. I love you. Well, that was bullshit. That was shitty. And it clearly didn't work. And that was my plan for like a freaking year or half a year. And of course, I didn't make progress on it. And thank God, Jess stuck it out, and she knew who I was at the depths, and she knew that I wasn't going to give up. And thank God that she had that patience and that ability to stick it out while I figured all this stuff out, while I really went on this journey. So my new definition of what it means to be a man for me in my particular relationship with my life circumstances is the following. And this doesn't mean I'm not dropping all my masculine qualities and all of my programming, because there's a lot of it that is useful. I love chasing goals and going after goals and experiencing a grand and above average life. I love going after things. I feel so much better and complete when I'm productive and doing things. Like this week, I think that the toll of not having gyms open is having an effect on me. I'm still working out at home and everything, but when I really push myself on all cylinders, I just can show up on a much better holistic scale. That's why I believe deeply in holistic health, mind, body, and spirit. When we're excelling on all cylinders, firing on all cylinders in all aspects, for myself anyways, and I believe for everyone, we just can really progress at an exponential rate in all realms. And when I'm pushing myself in the gym, for instance, and really giving it and proving to myself I can do difficult things, it makes it easier to do difficult things in my relationship, with my habits, with my nutrition, with my mental work. It all, when I'm just really pushing on all cylinders, I just feel like I'm way more efficient in all categories and a whole holistic viewpoint in life. So my new definition and the qualities that I live by, having that clear definition and clear clarity, are: I want to be loyal, dedicated, open and communicative, vulnerable, respectful. I will never give up. Balance. Enjoy the process rather than only focusing on end goals. Be empathetic. Be a listener, not just to hear, but listening to understand. listening to see the other side, not just hearing it, not just going into my ears, but actually listening to digest, and definitely not listening so I could come back with something and try to win an argument or a back and forth. Not to be competitive in arguments. Don't get me wrong, I still like to be competitive in sports and play outside activities. I just enjoy doing that, but not bringing that competitiveness into my relationship. I want to be loving. I want to be a supporter. I want to be accepting. And the two that I still work on that are I am improving. But these are the walls that my ego built the strongest around, are being affectionate and romantic. So that's the new definition of a man for me. And energy can be repressed due to our beliefs, paradigms, and especially society's expectations and norms. If we repress this energy for too long, our personality begins to get affected. If this manipulation of our true self continues, this can lead to those wounded energies we spoke about. And we will overcompensate to hide those qualities. And this will cause an imbalance and manifest in external outlashes of overcompensation. So I hope today's episode brings a bit more clarity on what might be happening, when we repress what is innately congruent to our values and beliefs, as we brought up as we were as a child. That's the best way of looking at it. When we were that innocent child, what are those qualities we embodied? Because that is within us at some point. And if we really bury those and hide those, we will experience that wounded energy and most likely overcompensate for that. So again, I just want to share that I have a couple spots left still for coaching. And coaching is, if you want to progress from where you're at, if you want to achieve goals in your relationship, in your life, in any manner, in a healthy, holistic way, I truly believe that getting help and getting that support system and accountability is really going to help you achieve what you want to achieve in such a shorter time frame. And it's so useful to have somebody who believes in your journey and progress and vision. When we go at it ourselves, it can be daunting, it can be scary, and then that unwanted negative chatter might appear in our brains. So I do have a couple spots open for coaching. And if you want to learn more about it and more about me, check out my website at joelmahe.ca. Follow me on Instagram at joelmahe, and I'd love to chat, communicate, send me a message if you have any feedback or inputs for what you'd like to see or hear in the podcast. I'm all ears. I would love to hear it. That's just where I'm at with the coaching stuff. But ending with a couple words. It's time for change. It's time to redefine what it means to be a man or woman. This might involve balancing your masculine and feminine qualities and energy. That is taking ownership, and that is something beautiful in the eyes of any gender. And this is how you surrender your average life. Thank you so much for listening. I hope you enjoy the video if you watch this on YouTube, or the audio on any podcast platform. I hope you have an amazing day. Take care.